Good morning, dear friends. Pastor Steve here from First Baptist Houma, speaking to our church family and my many friends out there also. I have realized in following Facebook and many conversations I've had in the last week especially that so many of you are beginning to fight depression. Some of you have dealt with it for years and you're struggling with it even more now. So I've jotted down a few notes of things I want to say to you that may help you. I hope it will. If you got a pencil, you may want to grab it and jot these down. Maybe you'll find something here that'll be helpful to you in this very difficult time. The first thing I would say to you is stick to your normal routine as much as possible. You may normally get up at a certain time. Try to get up at that time. If you sleep an hour later or something, that's fine, but get on up out of the bed. Get your shower, do what you normally do, make your coffee, whatever it is, but try to stay to that routine as much as you can. It'll create a normalcy in your life. Shave. It's easy, men, not to shave. And next thing you know, you've gone a week and you look like you've been in the wilderness for a month. So whatever you normally do, do that every morning. Open the curtains, open the blinds, let the sun shine in. You need the vitamin D from the sunshine. It helps your attitude and your disposition. The second thing I would say to you is limit your time watching the news. It's easy to sit there and get glued to a chair, to get glued to a news channel. And look, let's be honest. I don't care which news channel you like. There's not a whole lot positive you're hearing right now. So keep it to 30 minutes or an hour a day and then watch some old movies. Watch some of those ridiculously made up reality shows, whatever it is, but find something other than the news to be watching. Cut back on your social media. Social media is very helpful right now. Many of us are able to stay in contact with church family, friends, and family by way of social media, but even that can get very negative and you can find yourself caught up in all the negative things that are being put on social media right now. Unfortunately, some of them not true, so they can be misleading. So limit your time on social media. Now, this is important. Give your family some grace. They don't want to be cooped up with you for another month any more than you want to be cooped up with them for another month. So give each other some room, show some grace and mercy to each other. You're living in a very stressful, difficult time. Maybe it would be a good time to focus on what's good about each other instead of what's wrong with each other. Build it into your daily routine to have planned interruptions. Planned interruptions. For example, Jan and I will be there in the house for a while and I'll say, come on, we need to get some yogurt. And we'll get in the car and I'll drive from Houma to Thibodeau, which is where I don't need to go. Turn around and drive back to Houma and swing through the drive-thru at Zach's Yogurt, and we'll each get a small yogurt and park by the highway and watch all of you that ought to be at home drive by, and then we'll go back home. Sometimes we just get out and we go ride our bikes in the neighborhood. But plan some interruptions to the routine. Don't get caught just sitting there in that chair watching the news. Next thing I'd say to you is call someone every day. Check on your family, your church family, your friends. They need to hear your voice. One of the things that you're learning right about now is although social media is great and we can communicate with each other, we're finding out that it's not enough. See, God created you for human interaction, to be in community with one another. And actually, social media can be an avenue by which you isolate yourself. So it's really important for those that love you and you love them to hear your voice. So pick up the phone and call them, check on them, just chat with them, see how their day's going, if they need anything, what's going on. Then I would say to you, and this is very important, avoid making any big decisions right now. Sometimes in the middle of a crisis, we feel a need to make decisions that have to happen right now. Make sure that if you're making a major decision, that it really does have to happen right now. If not, put it off. We tend to make mistakes when we're under stress. And so be very careful with those decisions. And then something we're all struggling with Eat well. Eat well. It's easy to grab that pack of cookies, that processed food from the cabinet, and to sit around and snack all day. It's going to take some discipline on all of our parts, and I got to be honest with you, I'm working hard to try to make sure I don't fall off the wagon and start eating these foods that have no benefit. And when you take in high amounts of processed food, it's only going to suppress your mood, and that won't be good for you. Avoid alcohol. I know in South Louisiana you don't want to hear that, but listen to me, my friends, alcohol is a natural depressant. And so you want to avoid alcohol during this crisis so that you're not adding things to your body that will help you be depressed. Plan ahead how you will handle triggers such as alcohol, food, arguments, anger. If you make a decision ahead of time, I won't be angry today. No matter what my spouse or my kids do or say, I'm not going to blow a top. I'm going to handle it this way. When I get hungry, I'm going to go eat this instead of that. Make a plan to how to handle the triggers ahead of time, and you'll be more likely to succeed. Read the Psalms. The Psalms are very encouraging. Many of them were written by King David. They're chronicles of the dark times in his life, the hard things that went on when he was depressed, when he was struggling with life. And so he's very raw and very honest with us. And then you see how he decides to trust God, even in his darkest moments, and how God brings him through those difficult times. You need that encouragement in your life right now. So let me suggest that you read a psalm every day. And then this is the most important thing I'm going to say to you. If you believe you find yourself depressed, or a family member identifies you as being depressed, address it. Don't ignore it. Some of you have dealt with depression all your lives. You know the steps you need to take. You may need very well to call your doctor and to have a discussion with him or her about how to address what you're dealing with. But hear me very, very carefully. One of the questions that I use to diagnose stress, and I believe it's as solid as any question out there. Ask yourself, am I depressed because of a situation, an activity, an action, something a person has said or done to me? Okay? That's a specific event causing depression in your life. And oftentimes, we need to work on our coping skills. We're just too tender. We need to toughen up a little bit and work on dealing with what's causing our depression. But if you're depressed and you have no idea why, if you're sad and you have no idea why, you need to make that phone call to your doctor and have that discussion. And let me say to you, I know some of you would be hesitant to let a doctor prescribe anything, but if you're dealing with depression, it's better to have some treatment in the short term. You can always wean off when this crisis is over. You may need a little something to help you get through. There's no shame in that, my friends, so don't worry about that. Let me say this. I believe this. I strive to live my life by this saying, and that is that every one of us get to choose every day when we get up if we will live our life as an embittered victim or an empowered survivor. So let me challenge you. Refuse to be a victim. Decide you're going to be a survivor. Every day, wherever this thing takes us, you're going to survive it and you're going to come out the other side. Jeremiah in chapter 16 says, "O Lord, you are my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of affliction." Claim the Lord's presence in your life. Trust His refuge and His strength for you. Check on those around you. Show the love of Christ in your community as best you can. You are literally the church dispersed in your community. God bless you.